Hey YouTube, how's it going? Today I decided to do a little footage of the products and what I do in daily basis in keeping my Boas. I've been getting some PMs from my subscribers asking me questions about what products they should use and what they shouldn't use, and I like commenting back to these questions, but it's only my opinion. I am not an expert, just a true hobbyist that absolutely love these animals. So the products I'll be talking about is strictly based on my opinion and my personal experience. And plus the information that's out there now with the internet and so many good breeders with the reptile experts and whatnot. I mean, there's so much information that you guys could gather. When I first started in this hobby in reptiles, and I started with I don't know, crested geckos to bearded dragons, had some chameleons, had other lizards, king snake, corn snake. When I was in college, I had a reticular python, and also later on I had a Burmese python too. But when I started in the hobby, there wasn't all that information. There was no internet, and plus I struggled to get information to keep the animals, what I was keeping at that time, healthy and in good condition. So anyway, there's a lot of information out there. Do your research, talk to people when you go to the expos and other YouTubers that's out there for their opinions. All right, so I'm gonna take out some products that I use, and if you guys could gain some knowledge, fantastic, and if not, then that's fine too. Again, I'm not an expert, and this is just strictly the products I personally use, okay? First I want to talk about the heat pad that I use in all my cages. I use these 11 by 23 ultra therm heat pads. I use that on all my cages. They're a flex watt, which is more commonly known out there. I just tend to think, in my personal, these pads are more durable and it's sealed. Obviously it's going to cost you a little bit more money, but that's what I use. For as far as temp guns go, I have two. I have one that's in yellow in the middle that actually it's infrared and reaches up to 48 inches, and it's pretty damn accurate. I'm always checking the temperatures on the hot side and the cool side to make sure I have those temps correctly. And the bottom, the small black one, is okay too, but you have to be right on the spot there where you're aiming at to get the accurate temperature. Obviously, you're using any kind of heat source that you need a thermostat. The one on the right is the Hydrometer. It's a cheap on-off thermostat, but it actually works great. I've been using that for years and don't have any problems. I'm going to show you the Herbstat product, the proportional thermostat that I use as well. And the Herbstat 4 is one of my proportional thermostats. I also have Herbstat 2 on the other side for the other cages. I've done a ton of research on proportional thermostat, and I decided to go with this, and it's basically four thermostats built into one, and it is fantastic. As you can see, I still use those Hydrofoam on-off thermostats for other cages on the left as well. And I really like Spider Robotics products. Inside in each cages, I use the one on the bottom is the Accurite Hygrometer, which tells the humidity and the ambient room temperature in there is at 75 degrees. And on the top is a digital thermometer with a probe that's inside. It's directly towards the hot spot inside their hide. That's right now, I don't think you guys could see it, it's reading 91.5. Now for the ambient room temperature, I use, as you can see right in the center, one of those oil-based heaters. I try to keep the room right around 75 degrees during the winter time. And when it gets warmer through spring through summertime, and it does get up to about 80s, around low 80s, 80 to 82. That's the ambient room temperature, and ambient room temperature actually going to help the cool side of your cage to match whatever you prefer to be on your hot side. And for caging, as you guys know, I have all plastic caging here, Visions, Reptirex, and Boa files. I personally like Boa files, and regardless what cage it is, and on between each gap on the bottom of each cage, I have about 1/4 inch gap for air ventilation for the heat pad. You need some kind of air circulating in there so it doesn't burn any of the plastic and whatnot. There is a slight issue with PVC cages. If you have big boas, that with the urate it will stain and you need to do some scrubbing. ABS plastic on the Reptirex actually is better in that sense, but I tend to think those cages are too thin. I'm looking into some HDPE plastics for my next cage purchase. I'm focusing on one of my snakes cage. This is Kratos' cage, my Sunglow. I use aspen as a substrate for all my cages. I use a brand called Holland, and I usually order 3 bags at a time. It is compressed and it does come in a huge bag, but to accommodate shipping costs, I try to order 3 big bags at a time. I spot clean. I check on my boas at least twice a day, and if there's any kind of urate or defecation, I take them out and actually put a little more aspirin in that area where they actually had their pee or their poop. I clean out the whole substrate every 6 weeks to 7 weeks. I know a lot of people do it for every 4 weeks, but with the spot cleaning that I do in regular basis, 6 to 7 weeks been working out fine for me. Cleaning all these cages does take time. It takes me it's a full day almost. It's like 7-hour ordeal. Obviously offering 2 hides, one for hot spot, one for the cool spot. I do use those some kind of branch in the middle of the cage for the boas to climb and help them during the shed cycle. The water bowl, I use those ceramic bowls. It is very sturdy, so that my boas can tip it over. I have a big bowl in there in this Vision cage because Vision cage doesn't do that well holding humidity, even though I put the covers on top of the screen top. So I'm trying to maintain around, during the winter time, around 45 to 50. You know, summertime those goes up to about 60 degrees. I do offer all my boas light cycle. I have lighting in all my cages. That's not necessary, just something that I prefer to do. I offer 10 hours of daylight during the colder month, and during the summertime they get 12 hours of light. Now, as for my cleaning products, I'm going to go from left to right. All the way to the left is the chlorhexidine solution that I use to disinfect everything in the cage. What's a good thing about that is that you don't actually need to air out if you just use the right amount of solution diluted into the water. So that's what I use, and right next to it is the BioShield. It's the same company that actually make what you see a can back there, Proventamide, or PAN for short. BioShield product does a much better cleaning job, but I only use that if I have to. Getting up the urate stains and whatnot, I use that, but when I do use it, I need to make sure that it airs out before I put anything back in there. Proventamide, I only use that so far. I haven't only used it for when I have new animals come in, so I always spray Proventamide before my new animals comes in the tubs. And I use that little ReptiSafe solution that the drops that I use in the waters there when I put the water bowls inside the cage. And I think this is very important. The rodents, the frozen rodents that I buy, it's vacuum sealed. I usually only get it from Big Cheese Rodent or Roxahatchee. I prefer vacuum seal. It does tend to last longer. I try to order rodents every 5-6 months, and I do have a separate freezer in the basement, so it does help me, so my wife doesn't actually get to see it every time she opens the refrigerator. Next to it, obviously you need a hemostat or tongs, whatever you want to call it, to feed in your rodents. And I use a hook, the last one. I use that to hook train my boas. Every time I open the cage, I go in there, I tap on their head just slightly and to pick them up, and it's been working out great for me. I have a footage here with my little boas in there, and on top is my two Pac-Man frogs, and in the middle is the Herb 2. Last couple of things I want to talk about is I feed these 2012 little ones once every 7 days. They get a right size mice, and once in a while they'll get rats depending on their size, and mix it with a couple of feedings. And the bigger ones, usually 10 to 12 days, and my 2009 and 2010 animal will get fed every 14 to, it could go to 16 days. So that's my feeding schedule. I handle my boas at least twice a week, every single one. Obviously, if they're in shed, whatnot, I leave them alone. I skip the feeding, whatnot. Washing your hands is important. Use sanitizer every single time. I put one boa back in and handle another boa. I always use a sanitizer in between handling. Another important factor that in my opinion, is when you're buying snakes, any kind of snakes, it could be boas, ball pythons, whatever you're into, corn snakes, whatnot, make sure you find a reputable breeder. I mean, there are tons of good reputable breeders out there, and I've seen one that are pretty pathetic. So I think it's critical to find a couple of random breeders that you trust, and try to stay within, like, I don't know, I have 3 or 4 breeders that I have used for my collection. Even though you deal with reputable breeders, I personally, every time new animal comes in, I quarantine that animal for at least minimum 4 weeks. Just make sure they're doing okay, they're eating, they're shedding fine, and whatnot. And lastly, I do go to Reptile Expo here in White Plains, New York, quite often. But when I do go to the expo, when I come back home, I take off all my clothes, I jump in the shower before even I attempt to come down to my basement to look at my boas. So that's what I do as far as products goes and my daily routine, whatnot. So I hope this helped some of you. If not, that's fine too. Comment, let me know what you guys think, and so maybe I'm pretty sure I missed some aspects of keeping snakes. So let me know what you guys think. All right, happy holidays everyone, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.